folks, welcome to Wobbly Player Syndrome, episode 54. That means we've been doing this for at least 2 years, right?
Time.
My math, totally.
Sounds about right.
Yeah, it sounds about right. Yes, it is a Wobbly Player Syndrome episode. It is a Warhammer 40k podcast. Welcome one and all, even you in the corner. And a good shout out to Oregon, right? Boardman, Oregon. How you doing? It's good to see everyone here. We had a couple of technical issues on one of our guests here. Not guests, one of our regulars. We'll say hi, Adam, because you made it.
On a shaky screen. Hi.
It's all right. Nobody's looking at you anyway. And we'll look at Michael.
Hey, hey.
And of course, forgot safe work, Mark.
Hey, everybody.
And I am Greg. G'day. Hey, how are you all? You throwing your computer out yet? There, Adam. So a chat just popped up, and I went, what? It's ball dust.
My PC's on the floor in mass disgust.
Fair enough. Bull dust is unfortunately stuck in isolation, but it is here having a chat with us at the same time. Yay!
You can tell one of us had to get COVID. We were due to play 40k.
Yeah, pretty much.
Fair enough. Yeah.
It's becoming a theme. I guess next time we line up, it's going to be my turn to get COVID.
Yeah. I found it amazing because I was watching his social medias and it was like, I'm going for a walk in the middle of nowhere, there's not a soul. Next thing, shit, I got COVID. What the fuck were you doing in the middle of nowhere to get COVID?
Grandfather Nurgle is very generous.
Yeah.
Those trees get you all
Stop
the time.
licking trees, that's it. Okay, so today, episode 54, we are looking at, what's it called? The cost of my happiness. Yeah, looking at the value and the cost and what we don't like to tell our partners what we spend on this hobby. Yeah, it's not safe. Have a separate account. Do it. Cool. So, we'll do our regulars like we normally do. And then we're going to discuss how broke we are because of this damn hobby. How's that sound?
Yeah, fair enough.
Alright, so we better go to what's new?
What's new? Well, I don't know, it's been a bit of a quiet month, it feels like. Just after the last podcast, we had like some Kill Team stuff come out. They released like the Corsairs and the Chaos Legionnaires from Nachmund, I think was the Kill Team box they were originally in. So they came out in separate boxes. The new paints came out. I haven't looked at the new paints since they came out. I should go get one of those new cans of white spray.
I've tried some of the new contrasts.
I've never had an old can I've never touched.
Mortarium Grime, which is one of the new shades. It looked good, but it just did not really bring it out as what I was expecting. I got a very blue translucent one, and it is actually very, very light blue, very, very translucent, but it makes the power sword look great.
Cool. So then I believe we had the new Chaos Cultists came out. The Dark Commune for the new Chaos Cultists came out. The Chosen, the Warpsmith, the Warped Forged, which is I think the Obliterators and the Venom Crawler from that old box set. Bunch of bloody licensed McFarlane toys came out. If you want a Chaos Marine in the McFarlane toy, I guess. Yeah,
see, I was collecting all those, and then their price went berserk. I went, no. No more.
Well, is that like the difference between the Joy Toys and the McFarlanes? I heard there's a big price difference between the two.
Joy Toys are huge, but the McFarlanes were, I think, $40. And then they became $60 when the Orcs one came out. I went, no.
Yeah, okay.
I'm still trying to justify the 40. Yeah. So it's still disappointing.
And then we had the Plastic Leviathan Siege Dreadnought Close Combat Edition, which I totally purchased because you can never have enough Leviathan Dreadnoughts. And coming up this weekend... Yeah, we have the Sicarian Battle Tank, which is going to be great. I need one of those. They're releasing the Spartan and the Contemptor and the Praetors that were in the Age of Darkness box. They're releasing the ranged version of the Leviathan Siege Dreadnought because the bastards did 2 separate boxes. They're releasing the Cataphractii and the Tartarus Terminators from those old Heresy box sets.
Well, why not?
Yeah, and they're releasing the Admech book for Heresy and the Iron Warrior upgrade set. Oh, and they're also releasing a bunch of Blood Bowl stuff for the Elven Union. And they're releasing a really cool looking Warcry warband of Witch Hunters, which I'm totally going to buy, even though I don't play that game, because they look sick.
But then we'll play Mordheim with them, because that's what they're perfect for.
Yes, true. Or you could use them for like D&D models or something. Who knows? Yeah. I just think they look cool.
Yeah, it's fair enough. You're allowed to think that. We won't judge you. We're going to judge you.
God knows we judge Greg on his model choices.
Fine. Thank you, Susan. Let's not talk about squats. Cool.
I was literally about to bring up the squats.
Yeah. We've been teased again with squats. This time, 40k Dwarf Slayers in Power Armor. I do like the 2 Power Fist guy. I did enjoy that one.
Yes. Although I did kind of look at him and go, he's holding those fists in a very dumb way. And then I realized it's because it's to the two-handed weapon pose, but they just put fists on it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So he's... You know what he's doing?
Ole!
He's actually got a pair of little tiny maracas in his power fist. Ole!
I'm going to see him down the street. It's got a whole gang of them, and they're all doing the click.
I can see someone modelling a power sword or something, or a power hammer flying away.
Yep. I like it.
And call him Butterfingers McGee.
Alright, let's get into hobby progress then. Who's up first? Adam's up first. While you were in lockdown, not lockdown, where were you? You were in isolation.
I was in isolation, yes, because I came home with it. I had a little bit of trouble painting, so I got in and I did the Hellbrute. Very hard to paint on the ground with no painting station or anything or any light.
I should have put the photo of your actual work area, which was literally on the floor, because you weren't allowed to have a desk.
Yes. So that's my Hellbrute that came up. Which ones are? What else is there?
You got Abaddon, and you still got to do the base for Abaddon.
Yeah, I've done the base. I've just got to shade his base. But Abaddon was actually quite fun. I actually followed a YouTube video that said this is how to do it, and I went, oh, he's not that scary. So he is almost done. I've just got to glue him down.
Yeah.
So blue tack is not needed anymore, and I think I've got some Legionnaires painted.
Yeah.
Over the last month.
Oh, I didn't get any of those. Sorry, didn't get any photos.
Oh,
of those.
Yeah, that's all right. They're just normal Legionnaires.
When you first sent through the Hellbrute, there's a little light behind it. I was like, holy shit, he's put an LED on it. Thought, awesome.
Not that technical.
Just the TV.
Yeah, just the TV. It's disappointing.
Just the TV.
I thought that would be awesome.
He goes around with his own little red lantern.
Yeah. I think it's me next. It is. I've been painting the Chaos Knights. I've been working on the Desecrator still. I had a bit of a hobby fatigue, so I stopped painting for a couple of weeks. I'm coming back to it now. It's coming along. I can see the finish line, doing the little bits and pieces at the moment to the detail. Guess what? The shoulders do matter, because I've got 2 knights. I painted all 4 shoulders, but not all 4 shoulders are the same. So I had to go, oh shit, this is different. Where's the other shoulder? Quick, quick, quick! Because I realised something wasn't going to glue into place. It's very frustrating. And then I realised, oh shit, I haven't done the face piece either. Oh my god, where's that? So I had to do that too. So lots of bits and pieces. But there he is standing up before he fell over this evening. I was very upset when he fell. But it's coming along. I've got back in the hobby now, and I'm really enjoying the model again. So it's good. So yeah, that's where I'm at. I haven't got anything finished, but I'm on my way. Michael.
Alrighty. So I've painted a bunch of stuff. I'm currently trying to knock out a bunch of characters. I figured that I should probably paint like my librarian and tech marine and my chaplain and the lieutenants for my 4th company. So I'm just trying to knockout characters before. I'm still yet to do the actual model I'm supposed to be doing this month. That was last month. That was July's model.
Yeah, but it was after the podcast was recorded.
Oh, okay, yeah, cool. So yeah, I finished the Reaper. Then I painted last month's model, which was the Squad of Intercessors. And I've got to do the ATVs. Still haven't sprayed them yet, let alone started them. Yeah, and I also did the banner bearer as well. I forgot I did him.
Is he the one that
I've been
posted
kind of
last
working
Wednesday?
on a lot of things
Yeah.
since the last podcast. And I finished several of them. So that's pretty good.
That's good.
It's been
Just
good.
kinda bouncing between stuff.
It's almost inspired me to start painting.
Almost.
Oh.
I've actually
Well-
pretty much finished that chaplain today. Like I've just got to rim his base and then he's done.
Very good. Anthony's only here online, but he's done a couple of things. Ogre conversion for Blood Bowl he's been working on, which is crazy. And the shield guy for Custodes, I don't know what he is called, but there he is. Looking golden.
Trevor.
Trevor the shield bearer. Swordmaster. Does that think? Bull doesn't tell us. Trevor the Swordmaster.
Trevor.
Yeah,
That is a fantastic name for a custode.
That sword guy.
That sword guy. Unbelievable. So yeah, that's where the hobby's going on. I just forgot the Imperial magazines is now out in the US, here in Australia, and I did get the first 3 copies. So that's what's new. And yeah, my son was excited because I got more Necrons and the Intercessors and stuff going, and I got more paint. I went, bloody hell, I just bought this pot of paint on the weekend and then it arrived. So now I've got 3 pots of Warplock bronze.
More Warplock bronze. I'll
Yeah.
be honest, I haven't even opened mine. It came in and I was like, oh cool, I'll get to that.
Well, I was going, what trim should I do for my knights? It looks like Warplock bronze. So, yeah, but I didn't know that in the Imperium that you actually get bloody Gilliman is part of it. It just blew me
Yeah.
away. So,
I'm
yeah.
kind of cut because I'm going to end up with 2 of the bugger, and I don't need 2 Gillimans.
Nobody needs Gilliman, let alone 2. Oh, sorry, Mark.
I bet he wishes there was 2 of him though.
Then he's got someone to talk to. Moving on. Alright, let's get to the battle reports. I know I've played 2 games. What's the first one that comes up? Oh, look at that. It is... Oh, damn, it's Chaos and Salamanders. Damn. Adam.
Oh, yes. It was a wonderful day for the Chaos Space Marines. I'm looking in the distance and just thinking about how wonderful it was. Look, UK or new codex, you know me, or new codex, must play that new one. Stuffed up a lot of rules, and as I was writing up the rules, as I was telling you tonight, oh, he can do that. You know, in first time playing, they were actually really fun to play. Having a spellcaster in a troop choice in the Legionnaires was like, haha, look at that, I can deny you from anywhere on the table. They actually do hit hard, the accursed weapons with the Khorne.
Yeah.
And having the Khorne mark of Khorne on him, +1 to strength, accursed weapon gets an extra hit, and if I charge, I increase my AP or something like that.
Accursed weapons
something unholy.
-3 AP standard. So it doesn't matter about arm contempt. It was just brutal.
That's rough.
Yeah. Once you get into melee with the Terminators, it was just, forget it. It was really friendly.
It was your Chosen that was the more surprising one. I went, holy crap, these guys hit hard.
Yeah, about 20. We had a 5 of them, about 25 attacks. Pure hatred.
Yeah, with the -3 AP weapon and just going, ouch. So
And
he
2
did run
damage, I think they were.
The highlight though, he did bring Abaddon. The highlight was that I've shot him. He's taken 3 wounds. I shot him. I psyched him. 3 wounds. Oh my god! He's down to 3. Got him down to 3. I got to charge him. Try and get these last 3. So I ran in with the Redemptor, and the Redemptor goes, aha! But Abaddon's got strike first. He's like, yeah, whatever. Killed the Redemptor first go. I went, oh, does it explode? Yes, it does. D3 mortal wounds. Well, how many you got left? 3. All right. 3 it is. Yep. Abaddon killed himself by blowing up the Redemptor.
Yeah.
I feel like that is the only way to do it, really.
Oh, it was beautiful.
And then we had a chain reaction of explosions.
After that. Yeah, it did. It took another tank down. Yeah.
That is brilliant, and there is nothing better than more explosions.
Yeah.
We nearly had a chain reaction in our last game.
Yes, that's coming up. But yeah, that was a win to the Chaos. They were just too strong, and as soon as I lost my Blade Guard and strung out everyone that weren't near each other, I went, I'm in trouble. Started strong, faded away, unfortunately. They do
once
hit
I
hard.
got into that, but once I got into that wanton destruction, the wanton slaughter phases, it was also I got extra strength and extra AP as well. So the accursed weapons were like -4. So it's just like, forget it.
Yeah, it was brutal. It was brutal. So, yes. Amaris, how you going? Jacob Paints, welcome to the channel as well. Extra mention for Bruce, the hero that nearly was. I know! Bruce! He almost killed everyone. It was awesome. That was the Banner boy. Bruce, the Banner boy, he actually took some people down and said, oh my god, he's doing something more than bloody others did. That was exciting. He almost saved the day, but unfortunately not close enough. So there's a win to the Chaos. Can't remember what the score was.
I think it was, well, we stopped at about 61 to 50 something, I think it was.
Yeah, I think that put you back into second spot of the ladder, and that was the battle for second.
Not by much though.
Yeah, not by much.
Yes.
Next match, let's talk about happier times. So, Salamander's got another one, same list. So, I'm running around with Vulcan Hester. Do you like to talk about this one, Michael? Because it was against your Death Guard? No. Dark Angels.
Dark Angels.
The other green guys. Yeah.
I was going to say, like...
Green
when
versus
you said
other
it's
green.
Battle reports, I was like, was this month?
Yeah,
How
it
long
was.
ago was it? Oh, my brain is just not in this match. The main things I remember from this match are the exploding Redemptors. We ended up having a big gangbang in the middle. And I came in drip by drip, and he fucking pounded me. And my Contemptor blew up and took out his Contemptor.
Yep.
Which didn't blow up. Made me sad.
No.
The Contemptor did like the most damage to all of his characters out of all my stuff, because this was my game of the 2. So many fucking 2s. Holy shit.
Oh my god, it was amazing.
It was like the sheer amount of firepower I had to put into everything to kill it, because I'd just be like, alright, cool, boom, half the dice are 2. Okay, rolling to wound, 3 up, boom, half the dice are 2. You fucking kidding me? And just over and over. It was amazing.
And
I get the impression the world was telling you to go play Infinity.
Well, I think the other part was you can't re-roll wounds against salamanders. So that was even more frustrating when you're rolling 2s.
So all my fucking guys who gave me rerolls weren't doing that.
Yep.
And my abilities who gave me rerolls weren't doing that. So, well, not that I could ever reroll the 2s anyway.
Yeah, but I did laugh
because I wasn't rolling that many 1s. I was rolling 2s.
Yeah, it was amazing how many 2s. Richie Banner would have been proud.
And in the end, surprisingly, it was only a loss by 5 points, if I recall.
Yeah, it was. We added up and tallied it up and went, oh, that was a lot closer than we thought it was.
It is a bit of a shame it wasn't 2 points.
The game just took forever as well, because my brain wasn't working, so I kept having to look things up.
Contempt makes it challenging when you both got it as well, because you just go.
Yeah, it was such a slugfest. It's like, okay, saved. We were just pounding on each other rather ineffectually a lot.
Yeah. But I did fall in love with the Redeemer Land Raider. I went, oh my god, Redeemer? Yeah, that's right. Oh, I love it. It's just so much fun. Because you charged it and you circled it and you couldn't smash it and go, what are you doing? I'll just fire on you. It was fun.
The Redemptor did surprisingly little damage.
Yeah.
Because it was just didn't roll to wound me on my fucking...
my Redeemer, the Land Raider Redeemer, not the Redemptor.
Oh, sorry,
Yeah.
the Redeemer.
Yeah, when you try to hit it in hand-to-hand combat and still couldn't smash it in hand-to-hand combat. Going, well, why can't you smash it in hand-to-hand combat? It's a big green thing. Come on.
Yeah, well, it was like when I was trying to finish off your wounded repulsor,
Yeah.
and I threw like an entire 10-man fucking assault squad into it, and they just couldn't take off. Like he had like one wound,
It's true.
and they're just like, whoa! And like, okay, cool. Yeah, I need like I need like 5s and 6s, but I've got 40 attacks.
Yeah. So
Twice.
2s it is.
And I still didn't kill it. Actually, I think I did, like, right on the last attack or something, but it was stupidly hard to do.
Yeah. I still don't think it's worth the 374 odd points. But
Some
yeah,
of my
it's
nids
funny.
shooting.
It was good.
It was, yeah, just astonishing.
So that has made. I forgot to look up the ladder, but I know Anthony's still on top. Adam, with his win over me, puts him back into second place. Then me in third. I think it's Chris in fourth, and I don't remember the rest. I'm not sure if you qualify for a wooden spoon yet, Michael. I think you need one more game.
Well, I was hoping to get that this month, but COVID and all.
Yeah.
But on the plus
Look,
side,
we could probably extend that game just for another week.
You'll get the
But-
game.
but on the plus side, that entire 2,000 point army is painted now, because when I
Yes.
played you, just that Intercessor squad wasn't finished, and they're finished now.
Well, the next game will have to be on film then to prove it.
Yeah. Well, by then I'll have more stuff. I'll probably swap in those ATVs so I get some more multi-melters in there.
Fair
Because
enough.
I'm painting multi-melter ATVs
Yeah.
this month ostensibly. I haven't started painting them yet. I built them earlier in the month.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, my list is built around Falcon Heston because we're reading the books, and I went, well, if he's there, I need flamers and melters, and that's just what I just packed everything with.
Man, he makes those flamers real fucking good. Holy shit.
It's not bad. It's not bad. Put Agato next to him, that would make it a bit interesting. Anyway, let's move on. Let's get our break out of the way so we get into the topic of the month, which is the cost of my happiness. I'm not talking about relationships, or maybe with our wallet, but that's not the point. Alright, stay tuned.
We are Rollers, and we have the games for you. Be it board games, card games, dice games, or party games. You name it, and we have it. Find us online at rollersboardgames.com and follow us on Facebook and Instagram at rollersboardgames.
From acoustic to distortion, Storyboard Concept is music that's honest, relaxing, and full bore rockin' music. Follow Colin at storyboardconcept.bandcamp.com. Welcome back. Hope you enjoyed the lovely tunes of... I can't even remember the ad. It's been so long. I think it's my voice. No, I think I conned my wife to do the voiceover. The power. Yeah. So if you're going to check out Rollers Board Games, play some board games, damn it. So, topic of the month. The cost of my happiness. What does that mean, Mark? What does it mean?
Well, it means, is it worth it?
Alright, so one of the big things we always say about GW stuff is its price point is not a budget price point. It is definitely a premium price point. But is it worth it? Because we all say, oh my god, the amount of money I spent on this, but is it worth it? So that's kind of the basis where we've come up with this conversation. Because at the end of our last podcast, we started chatting about it. I went, well, yeah, it is. And just thought, maybe we could do a whole podcast on it. Here we are, folks. Here we are. So we'll break it down in a couple of things. We'll talk about Games Workshop stuff first, and we'll move on to the third party and other things that make up the hobby as well. But GW, price points. Do they matter? Are they overpriced? Are they right price? Do we get value? Go.
Oh, it depends. It depends on what you buy. Some things are hideously overpriced. Some things are not totally unreasonable. Like an example would be Hormagaunts.
Yep.
You buy those things, they cost you $75 for the box. At least last time I bought one, it's probably now 100 or whatever. Now, a unit of those starts at a minimum of 10 models and goes up to 30 models. So for one unit, you're potentially out like $300.
Yeah, so in that vein, like if you've got a unit of Marines, of 10 Marines, and you're paying $80 for it, you usually only have 10 in a squad.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it's not a balance there when it comes to the squad side of things.
Yeah, and that's exactly the thing. Like, if you're doing a horde army and you have to buy hundreds of these models and you've got to buy them in packs of 10 for, $70, $80,
Yeah.
it rapidly gets to be the point where you're like, well, why the hell am I buying this? And you're also paying a similar price point for Primaris Marines. Now, no one's going to look at the stat line of a Hormigaunt and go, ooh, yeah, that's value for money versus the same amount of Primaris Marines. But it really depends on what you're buying. In certain circumstances, you sit there and go, well, $75 if I'm getting 10 custodes for that. That's not a bad deal. Yeah. So, so it really does depend on what you're sort of buying, really.
What faction you're sort of chasing. If you're a horde army, it's going to be an expensive outlay.
Yeah, 2,000 points worth of Marines is a lot cheaper to buy than 2,000 points of just Imperial Guard infantry.
Yeah.
Yeah, and GW doesn't make it easy either. Right like, GW hasn't had bulk packs of, like, Imperial Guard or NIDS or Orcs or any of that in, 20 years now?
So my Catachans are from the battle boxes from way back 4th Ed, and I got 2 of those, and now I got a full force, 2,000 points of it, but they don't really do that battle box that they had back there. Starter kits, though. What do we think of the starter kits price points?
I like the price of the starter kits.
Yeah,
I don't know what they're like now. But previously they were quite good value.
Yeah, they're pretty good value.
But again, it doesn't matter what faction you're going for, because if you look at the Thousand Suns, for example, how many bloody what are they called? The beak bird looking things do you really need an army? Are they actually used in the army? I can't think what they're called. I play them. It doesn't matter.
Oh, the Zinch bird beast men.
I just had it in my head.
Zangors.
Zangor. That's it. Zangor. And you get an Infernal Master. Okay. Do you need more than one Infernal Master? Probably not. So one box might be enough. Where I think some of the other boxes, you can get multiple ones and still make it functional.
Yeah, like, the consistency between box sets is really dumb. It's particularly bad with Cadians, right? Because you can buy the new Cadian box set, which comes with 10 guys. And they've included that new special weapon sprue they've made with some alternate heads. So it's got a lot of special weapons in there now. Or, for less money, you can buy a Brood Brothers squad, which is 10 Cadians and a heavy weapon, plus the Genestealer Cult upgrade sprue. So it's, like, cheaper from memory.
Nice.
But has a heavy weapon in it, or it might actually be about the same cost. But it's got like a fucking heavy weapon, and the heavy weapon box is like $60 for 3, so it should be $20 more expensive, but it isn't.
Fair enough. Now I don't want to get stuck on an individual pricing of the models. I want to talk about more the value of what you're getting out of it. So this is just a little teaser. Cost, like, I think characters are probably overpriced when you're spending $55 to $65 for one individual model. So,
I think, like, overall, it is both worse than it used to be, but also better. Like, there is a better low bar to entry than there used to be.
Yes.
But a lot of things have gotten more expensive, and there's really good value in the box sets, but the box sets prices are up pretty high.
Yeah.
Like, you look at that new Age of Darkness, that's like over 1,500 points worth of Marines. Like, I think people are saying that it's basically 2,000 points if you, like, add one or two things to it in a single box.
Oh, right. Sorry, just forgot what box you were talking about, but yes.
Yeah, we did with the Spartan, the Dreadnought, 40 Marines, 10 Termies, and 2 characters.
Yeah.
Like,
you're buying a 2,000-point army straight up, essentially.
Basically.
Yeah.
And that's a pretty good value box.
Yeah.
When you think about it that way, as a starting point for a Marine army.
Yeah. And as you said, there's entry levels because the Imperial magazine that's just come out. So it's $80 $80 a month, right? You're getting 4 magazines, 4 issues a month. But you're also getting models. You're getting paints, you're getting brushes, you're getting clippers, you're getting a whole lot of scenery as well. And if it's basing off the Dark Imperium magazine, you'll actually end up with 2,000 points of 2 armies. So it's 2,000 points of Necrons and 2,000 points of Imperial Force. So it's a mix of Marines, Admech, and Sisters, and Guilliman. Yeah. So that's $80 over 2 years per month. I think that's pretty good to get 2 2,000-point armies over 2 years worth. So there are ways of getting things there.
And if someone was so inclined, they could probably just go to the newsagent, like, a kid. You could go there every week and just buy the ones that were the Space Marines.
Correct.
And not buy the fucking Necron ones, or the Sister ones, or the Admech ones.
Yeah.
Just the Marine ones. And then they'd have a decent sized army and they wouldn't have to pay for the stuff they didn't want. Like, I remember at one point I added up the Conquest one, which is, I'm pretty sure they're about the same value. It's about the same value proposition.
Yeah.
But I looked at the cost of Conquest and I was like, even if I didn't want the Death Guard, it's still cheaper than buying them all individually.
Yeah. Yeah, that was the one I was trying to think of, the Conquest. So it was, you get Death Guard and Marines, and I've got a friend who did that so now his 2 kids have an army each. One's a 2,000-point Marines, one's got 2,000-point Death Guard. And the little guides on how to play it are in there too. Yeah. So it gives you some background and stuff like that. So the magazine's pretty good.
My eldest is building the Death Guard, and my youngest has been eyeing up the Necrons from the new one.
Yeah, so my son plays Necrons, so that's why we're getting the Imperial magazine, so he's going to build up his army, because he hasn't really got much at the moment. This will help him build a full army.
Yeah.
I'll just reach out to our viewers. Amareus, from UK perspective, HQ Hideous, not great value for money. £40 for Abaddon. Why do I have so much trouble with that name? If you can find one. Squad's generally much more reasonable. £30 for 10 infiltrators, for example. So it's not that much different here. I think Abaddon, how much was Abaddon?
I'm trying to look at the sticker on the box. I think he's about $80
Yeah. I think I have problems when it's like a lieutenant and they want $55 for it. But he's the same as... he's just got a different sword to an infiltrator.
He's got a new hat.
Yeah. Joker. The quality has improved over the years exponentially. Oh, good words. In Sculpts, think was about 50% saving on that Heresy box. Yeah, that's huge.
What I thought was a really interesting kind of comparison between what the value used to be and what it became was when the new old Warhammer Quest came out, Silver Tower.
Yeah.
And they released a whole bunch of rules for like characters for all the different armies. And it was funny because you would look at it and you go, okay, all of the old Warhammer characters that you would use, they were like $20.
Yeah.
And all of the new Age of Sigmar characters were $50.
Yeah. Yeah. First time chat, welcome, Kobaby One Shinobi. Great name. I've done a lot of research on the cost here in the US and found the average is about 3 points per dollar. I'm interested to know what sort of lists you were looking at, because obviously if I'm looking at a squad of Poxwalkers versus a squad of Infiltrators, the points vary. Oh, I hated when they brought out Poxwalkers in a pack of 3. No, what was it? Death Guard in a pack of 3, Poxwalkers in a pack of 7.
It was
10 or 5.
It was some weird number, and
not enough to make a full squad. 2 boxes is too much. Yeah, it was ridiculous.
Yeah, it was like the hot dogs and hot dog buns type thing.
Yeah, exactly it. Yeah.
I got annoyed when they changed back before AOS came out, when they changed skeletons to be in boxes of 10. I'm like, who uses a box of 10 skeletons? You use them in squads of 40.
Yeah.
Yeah, they came in boxes of 10.
And that's the thing, because as I said, I mean, when I was starting my NIDS army, I'm like, okay, I need like 40 Termagants, and I have to buy them in boxes of 10 at $75 a box. Like, I was just like, what?
Yeah. I'd love to play an Orc army again, but I just can't do a Horde army. Just, yeah, it's crazy.
Yeah.
I also hate when you go, yeah, I want to build a whole squad of chainswords and bolt pistols. I only get 4 chainswords. Man, now I've got to buy another box just to,
Great point. When I did the Scourges and I wanted them all to have haywire rifles, you get one in the box. And I had to look everywhere to try and get it. And at the moment, we're just talking about this off air, is the lieutenants. If you want a lieutenant with a certain loadout, you have to buy that model. It doesn't come with a captain we were talking about, with every loadout. You had to buy, I've got to get this one, now I've got to buy this one, I've got to buy this one. Which seems to be becoming a bit more common in some areas.
But they have been making that a little better. Like when they released the new Phobos Captain, the new Phobos Captain can be built with 3 different loadouts.
Yeah.
Which is probably more than any other Marine Captain they've released so far.
Yeah.
So that was actually surprised me when I opened that box, and it wasn't just the 2 that they advertised. There was also the Power Fist option, which I didn't even think was in the Codex.
That's a good point.
When that came out.
No, I didn't think that's illegal build either. Anyway.
Well, yeah, it's in there.
Okay, sure. Well, if he can't do his rerolls, we'll make a fist of it.
Yeah, may as well fist something.
Yeah.
But yeah, like it's weird that, overall so many things are not great value, but at the same time I feel like they've made it a little bit more accessible with things like Warcry and Kill Team and Necromunda. Like a lot of those games, it's easier to get into them.
Yeah.
Than it used to be.
even the starter sets are much better.
Yeah, like the 3-tiered starter set thing that they've been doing, that's such a great idea.
Yeah.
Like, those things are so cool. Like, you buy the basic, super cheap starter set, and, like, the box is terrain and everything.
And
it's so cool.
Start. So, yeah, great starting points and stuff like that. So, yeah, done well in some areas. Some things are just, you question the pricing, absolutely. I remember when they brought out the Space Marine chapter add-on sprues. So, you get a couple of shields and... for the salamanders, a flamer, and those ones. Yeah, people who are listening at home, those ones. I went through that so quick, I went, I need more, but
Radio Mike held up an Imperial Fist Primaris transfer box set.
They were the same price as buying a character. So, no, that's not right, but anyway.
Yeah. I just bought a bunch of the Dark Angel upgrade shoulder pads for the new Heresy Beakies.
Oh, didn't you see what I posted online so you could have a look at a few things if you like Dark Angel stuff? No.
I don't actually remember what you're talking about, but cool. Look,
STL files, nothing illegal. It's okay.
To look right, so
yeah, fair enough. So I want to go away from individual pricing. I want to go to the value. All right, because you mentioned the Necromundas and the War Cries, which is great. It's essentially like buying a board game, right? A lot of people because thank you, Roller Board Games, nice plug. You owe me, Sam. You buy an $80 game and you go, gee, that's a lot for a game. But then you think about, hang on, I'm going to play this. It's maybe a 2-hour game. Probably play it more than once. Well, if you pay, it all adds up. And it's okay. Well, that $80 becomes value. I think that's where 40k wins, or in general, Games Workshop wins. I started back in Rogue Trader. I had a break between 4th and 7th, got out and stuff like that. But I've come back and I can still play with miniatures I bought all the way back then. So all the money I spent back then, which at that point I was a young kid, which money was money was bigger then.
Yeah.
So when we're talking about we're buying blister packs for $15 back then, but for me at that age, it was a lot of money.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I think that's where the value comes in. All right. Would you agree? Because we can replay. That's the biggest part. There's replayability. As much as we hate new codexes coming out.
It's it's the replayability. It's the how much you get out of the hobby itself. Yeah. Because there's building the models and there's painting the models and then there's playing and everything like that. I mean, some people don't see the value in building minis or the painting side of things. But you've generally, at the end of the day, you've bought it so that you've got a thing.
Yeah.
So, you have a thing ultimately at the end of the day, assuming you actually build it.
Yeah, like you can build your army, and you spent a lot of money there, but you've got that, and you're gonna get hours and hours and days of enjoyment, and that might just be one battle.
Yeah.
Depending on who
exactly
you're playing
right.
against.
Yeah. Well, our games, what they say, 2,000 points should be 3 hours. So when we do our 5-hour games,
Yeah. You can get 1,000 plus 1,000. Quick 5-hour game.
yeah, well that's say 3 to 5 hours with a mate, spending time with a mate, hopefully in an enjoyable sense, not being absolutely smashed and you want to flip the table. And you do that. Well, we're lucky enough to try and get at least a game a month. I think the value comes in there.
Yeah.
I look over there and look how many models I got there and go, I don't want to know the price tag I've put on that. But then I think about how often I play and how much I enjoy it. That's where the value comes in.
Yeah. The real value is the friends we made along the way.
Yeah.
Oh.
Next
That
week,
sounds
we'll be talking
too
My Little Pony.
savage.
Kenobi winner, Shinobi, as just coming back. Mephitic Blight Hall is 27 per model. The Pox was 35 to the 50 points. So, yeah, okay. 220. So he's just explaining his 3 points per dollar. And he's using Deathwalkers. Oh my god. Death Guard as an example. What's that damn thing called you had? The Venom Crawler? No, Venom Throat?
Venom Crawler.
I did get it right
Venom
the first
Crawler.
time. Bulldust.
Just-
Hobby is super relaxing and a lot
Okay.
cheaper than a therapist.
It is.
That is
Yep.
true.
That is true.
It is cheaper than therapy.
Yeah. Kobe-Wan Shinobi. Blood Bowl is one of my favourite GW products. Yes. Best value I've seen from GW. I still have my foam boards. I still love Blood Bowl. I just don't get to play it as often as I'd like.
Yeah.
Yeah. But Blood Bowl is a great example. It's a traditional board game almost. The same with the War Cries and moving miniatures around in a board game and stuff. It's great. You're going to get... The social part of it is fantastic. Even with the people we've got on the stream here. It's great.
Yeah, like
Thank you.
a lot of those side games, I think, are some of the best value things that they make. Like when I was a kid, my neighbor had a copy of Warhammer Quest,
Yeah.
and we all bought the Warrior Pack we wanted to play, and we all went to their place and played Warhammer Quest at their place, and so we were spending like $25 for the Warrior Pack, and like one of us had to have the base game, and then we just all played that for freaking hours and hours and hours. Like,
Yeah. Well, that's it. It's the value. I think the only criticism I have is the book side of the hobby. Yeah. The multiple codexes, the multiple books, and now they're doing the quarterly releases or annual
the annual General's Handbook style releases. Like, I'm still mixed about that. I like the idea of getting yearly updates, but I dislike the idea of basically the game rules being a subscription.
Yeah. Yeah, I can see that's where they'll go. That's where the app is. We could talk about value for money for the app and the Warhammer Plus.
And lack thereof.
Value for money for the app. It's shit. Okay, so
it's definitely not the battle roster we asked for, is it? Yeah.
No.
I do like the live rules, so if it's updated, it does go into there, so you can go, haha. As long as I've got the codex for it, I can check it. Yeah.
I will admit that is very cool.
Yeah,
That is probably my favorite piece of functionality it has.
Yeah. And if they did a
Apparently-
proper battle roster, maybe it's worth it.
Well, apparently I was in the local Games Workshop store on the weekend, and he was saying, "Have you seen the new battle builder for 40k?" And I went, "Huh?" Apparently, it's in the community website.
Where?
Battle
If
builder.
it's the same one that they talked about last year, it was shit.
No, I don't know, but he's kind of like said it's actually in the community drop down. There's a button,
well.
battle builder. It's called.
Okay. I think they did have one
What,
that was meant to be the
on the
teaser before
website?
the app came.
Yeah,
look it up,
from
I'll
the
move on.
community website.
I might have to check that out. I'll be surprised if it's not terrible.
Right.
I might be
So-
surprised. Who knows?
Now, as long as you're not playing tournaments that are sponsored by GW, you also have the option of third-party miniatures and bits and stuff like that. It expands our options regarding miniatures and customize our miniatures the way we want it. If we want to have really long hair on a toad, we can do so. I don't know why we would, but who wouldn't anyway? And there's so many great companies out there. Unless you're going to pass, I'm not plugging you right now. I'll just leave it a blank there so when they come back to us. Right, I can enter the plug there. Cool. There's that part of the hobby. Now, where does that fit with the value of the hobby?
I find it's because obviously having 2 3D printers.
We're not talking about
you
you haven't read the run sheet, mate. We're not talking about 3D printers. We're talking about third parties.
No, but because I have...
We're going to go back to 3D printers.
Minis.
We're going to go back to that.
I'm sorry, I forgot. Well, we'll come back to that. All right, third-party minis. I think they're actually quite good value as long as you are able to play them. They're all different, and it adds more flavour to your army.
Comes back to you enjoying your hobby and what you want to play it as and stuff like that. So if you're using Victoria miniatures or Cromlech stuff, you're doing it because you love the look of the miniatures. As long as it's clearly able to be recognised by the opposition, go for it.
Yeah, basically.
To be fair, if you're using Victoria miniatures, you're probably paying about the same cost you would be for legitimate ones.
Yeah, I do have beautiful miniatures, but I'm going, oh.
Yeah, I mean, I love them and they're fantastic, but they are basically the same cost as the actual ones.
Yeah, and it's funny, I'll balk at that, but I won't balk at just go down and pick up something from GW. Why is that?
Well, it's probably because Victoria doesn't want to get wasted by GW's copyright lawyers. So the fact that they're not a cheaper substitute probably makes her less likely to get sued.
Fair enough. They are beautiful models, though. Check out some of the stuff.
And that's just the thing is that, yeah, I mean, if you're paying for top shelf sculpts and stuff, you know, I guess that's the price. GW is kind of setting the bar there for the really good sculpts.
Yeah.
There are some higher price sculpts, but they're just beautiful. Creature Caster is one that comes to mind.
Yeah, the greater demons from Creature Caster are really
unbelievable. I think that's where the value of your hobby comes into how much you're enjoying the hobby itself, because those models, oh my god, I'm terrified to paint one. Do I do it justice? But they're just beautiful models. Sorry, Imperial people, you don't understand. Okay, so we got models that are high price, third party ones. We've got models you can find a bargain. You can even, if you really wanted to, I mean, the options are there to check second-hand side of things. Someone else speak.
I regularly go through eBay looking for really bad models, bad painted, and hope to pick up some cheap. But I've never found any group of armies that are actually cheap.
I mean, you do pick up a lot of cheap models. I wouldn't say you pick up cheap armies. I did pick up basically Battlefleet Gothic armies, like stupidly cheap for what they were.
I've got a regular store I use. It's an auction, so I don't buy an hour, and I get sniped a lot because it's in the UK. But
yeah,
for individual models, and it's sort of I just want to top up something, but I don't want to buy a $50 kit to have one model, so I'll just buy the individual. Kit bash is coming around the corner.
Buy a stack of grenade launchers.
Yeah. I actually ran out of shoulder pads. But how the hell did I run out of shoulder pads? I had to go get some more. and salamander transfers. You don't want to buy $40 worth of add-ons to just use the transfer sheets. Okay, yeah, that makes no sense. So there are options there to customize your price point for GW items. Oh, sorry. Bulldust just put up his kids were super cheap, $20 for about 1,500 points. So I'm going to think instead of saying kids, I think he meant to say NIDS. Otherwise, selling your children is not condoned on this podcast.
Or is it?
Well, you got to afford the hobby somehow, I guess. Yeah. Yeah. If Kenobi-Wan Shinobi, I think if there's a desire, there's a market for it. Like the Skaven release, they're still selling models from the 90s, and I don't think it's reasonable to make someone pay $20 for a single Scryer Acolyte. That's where third party really is needed. Yes.
Yeah, this feeds into something we were discussing before the podcast, where I was bitching and moaning about how I don't like being edged about the Squats release, and I was also pointing out how many third-party, like, Rogue Trader style Squat models have been getting released in the third-party sphere, and people are selling those quite successfully because Games Workshop haven't released the Leagues of Votan yet.
I mean, that even extends to just old kits, because, I mean, as I said, go have a look at the promo pics on the Imperial Guard, and those advertising photos date back to like 1991 or something like that. They've got crazy eyes and all sorts. Like the painting is the
promo shots for the Catachan Jungle Fighters are particularly bad for that.
Yes,
like it was really good painting back in the day, but by today's standards, the painting is just god awful, and I don't understand why nobody in GW in the last like 30 years has gone, hey, well, maybe let's just update that picture.
Because they don't have any plastic Catachans to paint. They've done them all.
So, but that's where some of these third parties really sort of fill that gap with their Imperial Soldier, or like, you know, I can't believe it's not Space Marine, or, you know, stuff like that.
Do love their creative names, the Space Evil Elves.
Yes.
I saw the one, someone was talking about some third-party heads they bought that were called Roid Soldiers. They were Space Marine-sized heads.
I love it. Cool. Paw Hammer. Acceptable? So, Paw Hammer. What's your definition of Paw Hammer?
Like cardboard boxes that have Land Raider written on the side of them, or, you know...
The old Warhammer Fantasy starter set where it has the cardboard cutout with a picture of the dragon on it.
I had the Orc Codex with the Dreadnought, cardboard Dreadnought in it.
Yeah, the second edition with the cardboard picture of the Dreadnought.
Yeah, I remember him. Yeah. Oh, I forgot about that one.
Anything with disposable cups and paddle pop sticks as the components of the model.
Yeah.
I mean, that just describes half of the Orc conversions in the world.
Paint it red and you're done.
But at the end of the day, it's whether or not, if you play someone and they do that and they go, look, you know, he's a bit tired at the moment. Yeah, mate, let's play with it. You know, who really cares?
My first games of 40k was with Tupperware as scenery, not Coke cans, but cans of soda. You know.
As long as I can recognise that it's actually a model and not, as I said, like, you know, like there's got to be some effort. Let's put it that way.
Yeah.
You know, like I don't expect somebody to go and plonk down like thousands of dollars or something, but like, come on, man, you can't just come in and go put a shoe down and go, right, there's my repulsor.
Yeah,
like, you know what I mean? Like it's
got Velcro.
I know
there's got to be a bit of effort there.
I know that a Tau Manta is very expensive, but I will not accept a Frisbee on a flight stand.
Yeah.
I'll literally bring a croissant. It is my croissant of doom.
I might applaud the guts it takes to put that on a table,
but would you allow the Frisbee with the $200 like physical notes on it and say that's a mantra?
Yeah.
No. No, I wouldn't.
So, but way back when we used to play way back ago, we did have a Necron player who did have a cardboard monolith. It was a pretty impressive build, smaller than the actual monolith. But their decision was, I'm not going to spend however much money that was at that point. Was overpriced, no doubt. Where I can do this and get away with it. Okay. For me, I went, okay, you can play with it, but I don't know. I feel like it's a short-term thing. If you're going to do that, it's because you're saving up, or you're going to replace it with the real thing or a third-party thing along the way. Yeah, because absolutely, when you're building an army for the first time, you don't know what you need. So I feel, we're going to use this to represent a Redemptor because I don't know if they're good. Trust me, they're good. Yeah. So your Bulldust has brought up the cardboard monolith. There you go. Yeah. So.
And as I said, I mean, there's got to be a level of effort there. You can be really lazy about it, or you can, it's a don't be a dick situation, basically.
Yeah,
Go back to the general rule.
One of my mates, when I was in high school, we decided to try and play a big game, and I had a lot more stuff than he did.
Yeah.
So he showed up with a bunch of paint pots that he said were Imperial Guard Sentinels.
Interesting.
And I was fine with that for a single game, special occasion.
Yeah. But not every game.
That's cool. Don't do that regularly.
Yeah. Because it's also the enjoyment for the other player you're playing against as well.
Yeah.
We've got a question. How do you guys feel about Tabletop Simulator? So when we were in lockdown, we tried to have a look at that. If any way you can play 40k with people, I'm all for. Absolutely. Would it replace the hobby itself? Not for me. Yeah. I enjoy the painting part of it, which I never thought I would. But yes, I actually enjoy the painting of it. But yeah, I think I've tried it like once or twice. I couldn't get my head around it, but that's because I'm a simpleton. Tabletop Simulator, anyone else?
I tried to read up how to get it to work, and it just seemed like too much hassle, but that was years ago, I think. A couple of people mentioned it in the pandemic, but no one I know knew how to make it work. So, I mean, it's a cool option if you've got it working and you know what to do and you've got people to play there, and, that's great. It's not in person, but it's bringing something different to the table, certainly.
Yeah. Mm.
And I mean, if it allows you to play a game with somebody, in a lockdown type situation, I'm definitely all for it. I just never picked it up, just because you guys took a look, and then I was like, well, all the people I would play have kind of gone, okay, this needs some serious...
So we decided to play Dawn of War or Space Marine instead, so we know how to use these.
And we played Blood Bowl.
Blood Bowl, that's right, we did. We had a couple of seasons of Blood Bowl,
Yeah, we played virtual Blood Bowl because an online game is better than no game.
Correct. Yeah, it was a lot of fun. Yeah. I think it's good if you... Like, I've got a few of my followers who are not in the same area, so it might be an option to play against them that way, because they're not travelling from Taiwan to here, not as easy as you might think. Yeah.
I mean, you can't expect them to travel from Boardman, Oregon.
No, they better, but no. If you do, you better make sure you let us know. We'll have something special for you. A cold beer. A real one, none of that American stuff. You'll be fine. Alright, so, Adam, you started talking about 3D printing.
No, not anymore.
So we do want to talk about it because it does change quite a lot in the model world. Right? You can now print out a full tank, infantry, whatever. You can do the whole lot, or you could just do little bits and pieces and stuff like that. So it does change the game, and so much so GW, if it's a GW sponsored tournament, if you've got a 3D printed thing, it gets removed from the table. I think it's a bit extreme, but anyway, yeah. If it's a whole army 3D printed at a GW, absolutely.
So
I think GW would let you 3D print your own like kit bash type stuff.
No.
They went over the tournament rules recently, and you could as long as the model was not distributed, as long as it was a custom thing that you had done for yourself, and it was based on a original GW model, they would allow it. But you can't just go on like the pirate site and get, I can't believe it's not Marines, make your whole army and then rock up to GW. They'll tell you get bent.
So, but apart from the GW tournaments, which we're not tournament players.
Yeah.
Does that devalue the price of the GW stuff compared to printing out 3D. Has anyone decided, no, I'm not buying anymore, I'm going to just 3D print my armies? I haven't.
I haven't. No. I have heard of a lot of people doing it because when you're picking up a 4K resin printer for a couple of $100 US, and then you can literally just print any model you can think of.
Yep.
And it's and the detail is there. It's the same. It's as good as anything you could buy anywhere else. And you're churning out models at $1 or less a model. I mean,
yeah,
that's a pretty no-brainer.
I've seen today people in some groups I'm part of asking for recommendations on where they can pick up stuff to print out because they're not going to buy official models. They're looking for entire proxy lists that they can build from downloaded STLs and shit.
So I bought the Noise Marines box, the individual Noise Marine box. And then I also bought the resin add-ons for the Legionnaires for the Noise Marines. They're astronomical amount. And then I found this website for a Noise Marine or a Marine of Noise, whatever it was, for $2. And and I say this, the model actually looks better. Not like the Noise Marine from the single box, but the Legionnaire add-ons, and it actually looks quite good when I print it out. Would I play that around anyone a tournament that would sit back and go, oh, that's not that? But for us, that we you sit back and go, oh look, that's pretty cool, because it looks pretty cool as the print. Scenery and everything like that, it just aids in the scenery for the boards and such. Even building your model, like the models, as well. I was telling you last night, I subscribed just the other day for one of the websites that do monthly changeovers, and I got practically all the fantasy that I could ever want, and it was actually, I think it worked out to be about $20 a month for probably 30-40 models that I could print.
Yeah.
Plus busts, plus the mini busts that you can get there and practice your painting and such.
Yeah. Oh, I'm not saying I'm innocent. I've got a Plague Burst Crawlers 3D print. It's a beautiful model because it's not a take. It looks completely different. It's a creature. I'd show you, but the podcast people won't notice what I'm talking about.
And you've also got some demon spawns.
Yeah.
Oh, that looks pretty good. Yeah, it looks better than what I actually thought it would be.
Yeah. So that's a Plague Burst Crawler. Completely different looking. I do have already got 2 Plague Burst Crawlers. Didn't want to buy a third, so that made it an option. Would I build a whole army out of 3D print? I wouldn't. Jacob brings up a good point. His issue in doing bulk 3D proxy could potentially kill companies writing the rules and end up without games to play.
I mean,
I see that as a fair point. The thing that GW about GW though is that I don't think the bulk of their money comes from the minis. I don't, because they're doing so many books, they're doing so much media, they're doing, there's so many layers to the way they're running their business that I don't think models would sink them. Like smaller companies, for like other games, 100% they would probably fold from that kind of thing. But and it's one of those fine line type things. I mean,
I don't think Games Workshop is remotely in any danger whatsoever of having their business even damaged by the 3D printing market at this point. Other companies, frankly, I've seen a lot of indie companies making their own rules with no models to take advantage of 3D printing.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Because I could see people going, right, well, here's the STL, print your own shit.
Yeah.
Go buy the book from us.
There's a few Kickstarters about that said, we'll give you the printout of the rules, and here's the STL files. Go nuts. Or if you want to, we'll send you the models, but it'll cost you more. Sweet, done. Yeah.
Yeah, like we've made a fantasy battle game. There's Ratmen and there's Bone Men, and use whatever the fuck you want to represent the Ratmen. Could be Skaven, could be whatever you want.
And if they did that, you'd never be in a situation where you go, oh shit, they haven't made enough Sisters of Battle or squats or whatever, because all they do is give you a copy of the file, and then it's just a case of you printing it out in whatever medium you want.
Yeah. I also think it's the quality, as it was brought up earlier, the quality of the models that you're getting from GW are unbelievable. They really are. They've improved so much in where they were. A lot of STLs out there don't have the greatest of details. Some do. Not saying not all, but some do. So I think
if you've bought the cheapest, shittiest printer you can get, you're not going to get great results, even if your STL file is good.
Yeah. So it's.
But even the question was, will I just print out all my things? No, I do like the models of the GWs. The plastics of the GWs. But it's nice to be able to have a different model so it looks there. See that character there? Yeah, it's the printed one. Yep, that's my sergeant. He's a little bit different. It just makes a difference in the table.
Yeah.
And see, the other thing comes down to things like upgrades. When you only get one of a particular rifle and you want an entire squad with that, it makes sense to be able to print off another 5 or 10 of the things, so that you can make use of it.
Also, if you want the special effects of of the bullet
shields,
going out with the smoke, or the shields, or the missiles with the smoke trail and stuff like that, that it just enhances the model.
Yeah, I mean, it would be nice to be able to get more weapons without spending $60, I think it is, for the Heresy Legion heavy weapon upgrades.
Yeah. Yeah. I wonder if we're getting those sort of accessory boxes more now because of the 3D printing.
Maybe.
Yeah, it wouldn't surprise me. I mean, I remember there was a whole bunch of people making aftermarket Thunderfire cannons just because the model kit was crap, and people were just like, well, I'm not going to spend squillions of dollars on a crap model when I can make something that looks better and plays better.
Yeah, there's been a couple of models like that where I've seen people making proxies because they hated the official model because it was just really, really old, or was only available in fine cast resin.
Yeah. Well, you touched on, I've got those Chaos Spawn. It's because the Chaos Spawn for GW don't scream to me Nurgle, Death Guard. When I saw these ones, they screamed to me, that's definitely a Nurgle spawn. I want those instead. And I've got 3 of them. When you want a squad of 3, when they only come in a box of 2, that makes it frustrating. Yeah. So, Joker, like computer games, one company can multiply games, but each game is budgeted by sales. If it doesn't sell, support is cut. Absolutely. Very right. I think their mini games of Warcry and stuff like that is going to help with, you don't generally go buy a game and then go print the models out for a small game like that. So they've got that. I don't think they're in trouble. Not at the moment, anyway. For getting 3D printing.
It's not like Napster or something like that, where all overnight there's like a billion people with 3D printers just churning out models and stuff either.
Well, that's the other thing with 3D printing. It's not quick to print a model.
No.
It's not, and realistically, it's not the kind of thing you want to do inside your house. Those resin printers, they give off some pretty gnarly fumes and stuff, and even the filament printers, even the filament printers give off so much plastic and everything like that if you look at universities and stuff that actually have 3D printing facilities, they say, right, you have to wash your hands after you've been in there while it's running. You can't have food near it. You can't because it just puts plastic on everything.
Yeah.
So
if the fish can eat microbeads, we'd be fine.
So yeah, one of those things that may not just generally be available to people.
Thank you, Jake. I didn't even see it. Well done. Yeah. So, 3D print, does it devalue the models in the game? Does it add value to the game? Does it?
I think it adds value to the game a little. It does make things like kit bashing and modding and stuff like that a lot easier. And I think now we're seeing a quality of models from GW and from random sculpts and stuff like we've never seen before. You know, like some of the stuff you see getting around on Instagram and some of that stuff is genuinely mind blowing. Like you know, back in the early '90s, you couldn't have fathomed some of the stuff that people have been coming up with.
So, do you think 3D printing has actually had to up the game of GW sculpts?
To 100%.
Yeah,
100%. And some of that's even just competition from other games like Infinity or you know, some of these other mobs. They have great sculpts, and you can't turn around and sell your game on a sculpt from 1985 when these guys are coming out with this really great stuff.
So I've just realised I'm painting some Thousand Sun Rubik Marines, and they're the 1992 metal ones like this.
Yeah.
It's a great sculpt. Back off.
Yeah, they had the two poses, the gun across the chest or the gun just being held.
No, all one pose. Yeah, that's it. Yeah, that's it. No, that's not it. Mine looks more metal. More metal. Yeah.
That's the resin sculpt of the same one.
No, 1990. Yeah, cool.
For a while, they started making recasts of the metal ones in Finecast.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Yeah, imagine that sculpt, but in Finecast. They're not great. I bought one squad of them to use as a kill team.
Alright, so no one's going to go into 3D print reasonably priced goods. Yeah, it's fair.
Agreed.
Fair point too. I think with them doing the starter packs and those entry points, it's a good way to counteract that for GW. Yeah. So we've gone around, we've talked about GW, we've talked about 3D printing, we've talked about third party, we've talked about second-hand stuff. So the big question is GW good value for what we're paying for?
It's very much a very personal answer.
Yeah.
Is the lame-ass answer to that question? It depends on your situation.
Alright, so I have... won't talk about how many armies each have because Michael will be here all day. I have multiple armies, and he's going to count. All right, final count. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Shit. 7. Shut up.
I think the answer is 2. Too many.
Too many?
That's some of the answers. Too many.
It's not good. It's not pretty.
Plus, do the demon chapters class as separate armies?
No. Don't make yourself feel bad. Yeah. Still got my orcs. Son's got the Necrons. It's too many.
I think I've got 8.
So I've got several armies. The Drakari was a slow grow, and that for me is probably the only one I've ever gone, I'd like to get rid of those. Look at the money I spent on them. I'll hold on to them. It's the only time I've done that with an army. All the other ones are going, I don't know how much I spent. I don't care anymore because they're just fun. Yeah. So for me, I'm still
considering how many armies you've bought and you've only struck out once. It's not too bad.
You seem to be doing better with them these days.
Not the last 2 battles.
Like getting along. I thought you were getting along with them better. Not
I was getting along with them better.
Game, but I enjoyed it more.
I had a good game with them. I went, that was actually fun. I enjoyed that. And then I played a Custodes. I went, oh, fuck off. Yeah.
So they've grown on you.
They've grown on me, yes. They've grown on me. That's what you want? Drakari to grow on you. I think the hobby is great value because, as we mentioned, we've got the hobbying part of it, the playing of it, the social part of it. Spent a fair amount, but I still look to try and find a bargain. If I can find a box set for GW at a decent price, I'll grab it. If I don't, I'll go to GW and just spend it because I know I'm going to play it. I know it's going to sit around with me for hours and stare at me, tempting me. Yeah.
Yeah, and I mean, ultimately, we still buy genuine minis. But ultimately, you look at it, you go, "I want it," so you buy it, and in a lot of cases, that's good enough value.
Yeah.
Well, I went to one of the shops yesterday with my son, and I went, "Oh," as I was telling Greg, "Oh, Dark Mute Commune. Do I need it? No, but I like the models. Buy it."
Yeah.
Nobody looks at Warhammer and goes, "I need that." You generally really, really desperately want it.
Well,
but yeah, like I mean, just in terms of the value of the stuff I've bought in the hobby, like thinking about it, all of my longest friendships have been from people I met playing this game.
that's good value.
There is a lot of value there outside the money.
Yeah, the fact we can do a podcast for 54 episodes. Come on.
Oh, how much shit can we talk about this one hobby? My goodness.
It's amazing. But it's a great community out there too. So, as you said, it's long-term friends. I'm still not sure if I forgive or congratulate Anthony for dragging me back to the hobby. But yeah, I think it's worth it. I think, you can be price smart and stuff like that, but overall, when you sit back, it's good value. As long as you're enjoying it, of course.
Yeah.
If you hate it.
If you're not enjoying it, go do something else. If there's no good players that you want to play, or if you live in a place entirely populated by shithead fascists, maybe it's not good value.
That's a fair point.
Yeah, don't buy things you don't like.
Yes. Buy things you enjoy. Don't do things you don't like.
It's pretty good value across the board. Adam, you got anything else to want to say?
Me? No.
Oh, good. I'm glad you're here.
I talked.
You did.
And I've shaken.
Yeah, the steady cam down in the corner there. Yeah. Yeah. All right,
my fingers are starting to cramp for holding my phone.
Yeah, we're going to wrap it up. So I'm going to ask for one sentence from you regarding the value. What is it? The cost of my happiness. Mark, you're first.
Well, I think it's worth it. I have definitely enjoyed the hobby quite a lot over the last 27 years or so I've been in it. I think it's been worth the many thousands I've spent.
Good one sentence. Michael.
Whew, my eyes are glazing over looking at the date. It'll be 30 years next year. Yes, this hobby has definitely been worth it for me, and it continues to be, and I continue to spend money on it. Could it be better? Yes, but, I still get my value for money.
Adam?
Absolutely. I find that I get the value for money out of just playing and the social interaction.
See, that's one sentence, people. That's how it's done.
Oh, we're rambling-matic.
Mine was one run-on sentence.
I just wanted to do something in a sentence.
So I'll only do one sentence. I think it's great value I think there's definitely value for the money. You said the social side of it, the hobby side of it. We're streaming. I'm doing Twitch. I'm painting stuff that I enjoy, sharing it with others. I think that's great. But the big thing is you only get what you get put into it. If you're putting in effort and you've got people around you, of course you're going to love it. And you don't care what money's going across the table until your partner finds out. Don't do it. All right, folks, thank you very much for joining us tonight. Thank you to everyone on the chat. Really appreciate you interacting with us and putting those questions to us. And watch out for Bulldust. He will sell your kids really cheap. And on that note, I'm going to say goodnight. Good night. Mark's going to say goodnight.
Good night.
Adam's going to say goodnight.
Good night.
And Radio Mike's going to take us out.
Oh, what cost is happiness? Is it worth it? Survey says yes, but also no? It's complicated! But join us next month for more Wobbly Player Syndrome!